It finally happened, everybody. The President of the United States, Barack Obama, met with the one and only Pope Francis. For about 55 minutes, the two heads of state met and discussed issues that united them, like economic inequality and poverty. Overall, looks like both of them had a pretty good time, if you ask me. Good meeting, no?
It looks great. I mean, I love the smiles at the end. They gave each other gifts. You know, the Pope gave him his exhortation, Joy of the Gospel, and I love President Obama's gift, which was seeds from the White House garden, which I think is very evocative, very, in Christian language, it's a very kind of mustard seed, sort of beautiful
Sounds
idea.
like a cheap gift to me. Here's some seeds, Pope.
It's a very symbolic gift. I mean, Reagan gave a crystal bowl to, John.
Yeah, crystal. He gave some seeds.
Okay,
one thing
that the Vatican does not need is more crystal. Okay, I think they're okay on the crystal front.
Fair enough.
So I actually, it seemed good. I think there was a lot of kind of hand wringing beforehand. Oh, is it going to be like a slap down around contraception and things like that? I'm sure that came up, but overall, it seemed like a comfortable and good meeting.
Fair enough, Arthur. What is the significance of this kind of meeting?
Well, the Pope is so hot right now. President Obama, not as hot. So I think that is one goal, to get a little of that Pope vibe. But other than that, there is, like Paul mentioned, the conflict over contraception. I think there's probably a lot more policy agreement between the two. If you happen to listen to the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops, they are pretty left on almost every economic issue that's come up in Washington over the past 6 years during President Obama's first and second term. So he's just more vocal about that stuff, and I'm sure there is more common ground than disagreement over abortion.
You talk about the Pope being hot right now. It's very true. The Pope's approval rating right now among Americans, 63%, according to recent data. That's higher than President Obama. And, well, everybody's higher than President Obama.
Congress is not.
That's true. That's true. Well, can that new Pope smell rub off on President Obama, you think?
I'm not sure what is going to come out of this eventually, but I think that President Obama has some new talking points, especially around immigration, which is really important to him right now. And I think the idea is that if you can say, well, as I was saying to my friend Pope Francis, immigration reform is incredibly important. This is what we have to be focusing on. There's a moral imperative for that. That helps you. I mean, there's no question. When he can quote Pope Francis to help his cause, that's going to help anybody.
That is pretty awesome, Arthur. I just say, I was telling Arthur Delaney from HuffPost, and that does okay in the streets, but I'm sure if I say I was just telling the Pope the other day, that goes a long way.
Now, Republicans are not just going to sit there and let President Obama have all the fun with the Pope. House Speaker John Boehner has invited him to address a joint session of Congress. So everybody wants a piece of the Pope, and I think President Obama won't be the only one lucky enough to get a piece.
But he may be the only one who invites him who he has such philosophical agreement with. They're really on the same page, as you mentioned, when it comes to issues like income inequality. I understand how that helps Obama generate some support, but will it encourage the White House to go stronger on actually enacting reforms?
I don't think it necessarily will. It helps in the superficial way, in the sense that Obama can say, like I was saying with my friend the Pope the other day, but like I was saying a minute ago, the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops does lobby Congress on a wide range of issues. Unemployment insurance, for example, something currently stalled in Congress. The bishops say, bring the benefits back, and Republicans do not listen to that. They listen to the bishops on abortion and other social issues. So I don't think it will be a game changer in terms of actual policy change.
In some ways, Reverend Russell Bush, I think that the president and the Pope actually have the exact same position on these things. I'm not sure that the president supports, I believe he supports gay marriage as a state issue. I'm not sure how he feels about abortion. I'm not sure how he feels about some of these other issues at the moral level. I think that he supports pro-choice because of his general politics, but I think when it comes to his choice and what he believes is actually right, he may actually be as pro-life as anybody else.
Well, maybe on abortion, I don't know, but on contraception, I doubt that he is actually where the Pope is. I think actually 79% of American Catholics are not where the Pope is and where the Catholic hierarchy is.
What does that mean? Help me understand that in religious terms. If you see the Pope as a sort of, he's like the sort of intercessor, right? He's sort of the moral leader of the world. How can you be on a different page than the Pope.
They just are, and that's happening worldwide. Basically, almost all Catholics in Europe and in the United States and in Latin America disagree with the hierarchy on questions
But does
of
that mean that they think the
contraception.
Pope's actually wrong?
I think they think it's irrelevant. I think that, that's really so what's interesting is you have the Catholic bishops pushing so hard on contraception when most of the people in the pews do not agree with them. I think that probably President Obama is very strong on contraception. I have no idea about his views, personal views on abortion.
Yeah.
But the idea of the woman, that was a huge choice for him to go out and say, we want this to be part of the mandate. We want this to be part of Obamacare. And so I think for him, it had to come from a personal place.
Yeah. I don't want to get all Bill Maher-ish on people here, Arthur Delaney. It just seems like an odd place to be, right? If you accept the doctrine as infallible, then either you have a kind of hermeneutical disagreement with the Pope. In other words, you have a disagreement on how to interpret Scripture, or you're saying, screw Scripture, I want my condoms.
I think it's just not practical in today's society to be completely against all forms of contraception, or almost all forms of contraception, like the Catholic Church is. And if you couldn't be, to some extent, an a la carte Catholic, very few people here would be Catholics, so both sides live with the contradiction. Though, of course, Paul would be better able to speak to that.
No, I think,
am I getting that right?
I think the truth is that in any religious community, you have debate and you have people disagreeing with the leader. There is never a uniform.
That's different. That's different. If you run a church and 80% of your congregants disagree with you on contraception, that's cool because they're saying Reverend Rauschenbusch is wrong. But do Catholics believe that the Pope actually has? That it's possible for the Pope to be wrong on such a high stakes issue?
I think they can.
It's almost like saying we disagree with Jesus. 80% of Christians disagree with Jesus.
No. It's not that. Actually, that's where the tension lies. They say, actually, this is not the core gospel. This is not the core teaching. The Catholic Church has evolved on some issues. The stance towards the Jewish population has changed. So the question is, I don't want to get too much into how Catholics relate to their hierarchy because I'm not Catholic. But my guess is that this is just something that does not feel relevant to their life, but they still feel like I want to be a part of this tradition. It's very important, and so this is something that poll after poll after poll carries out. And so whether or not they feel like a disconnect, I actually think what's happening is the hierarchy is having to really think about this. Next year there's a meeting of around the Catholics and the family, and what they've discovered is something like 90% of Catholics in Germany disagree with the teaching on whether divorced Catholics can have communion and on contraception. All of these things, these are the Catholics. And if you decide all of you gotta leave, you're left with a real shell. And so I think that there's beginning to be movement, especially on the divorced Catholic thing. I think that, so that there's real movement on this.
What I'm hearing you say is there's some connection between money, politics, and religion.
Not money. There's a question between.
Well, everybody leaves.
It's not about money. It's about what is actually. I think there is a question between what is the truth of a situation of the Catholics who we have to pastor to. What is their truth? How do we minister to that truth and be in connection with them? So that's a different question than pure money.
No, I didn't mean it in that sense. I just meant that there's certainly a pragmatic assessment of what do we do if everyone disagrees with this doctrine and leaves.
Yeah, well, and also within the Catholic Church, within there are bishops within Germany who are actually saying we have to rethink divorce. So this is not something that's only coming from the pews. There are bishops who are thinking this. There have also been bishops who have had different opinions on contraception. There's a whole history within Vatican II where there was a possibility that contraception was going to be allowed.
Wow.
So this is a conversation that is happening. Now, of course, this is something that the bishops now feel very strongly about. I respect that opinion, but it's not actually what most Catholics in the pews are thinking.